At the centre of Scotland's largest city lies its beating heart. Glasgow Central is the transport hub that connects communities near and far. But for months, lockdown has left the country and the station at a standstill. Now, Central staff must take on the challenges of getting the whole nation moving.
This will be interesting.
Any problems we come across, we've got to solve ourselves.
This is what makes this place electric. Brilliant to work in.
They need to open up, welcome back the crowds,
Number 13, guys.
Have your tickets ready, guys?
and cope with everything that a packed station,
Very, very, very busy.
demanding passengers,
Guys, can you just put your mask on? Put your mask on for me, thank you.
and new challenges can throw at them.
We've found a problem with the high voltage cable.
That's going to have to be replaced.
This roller coaster just doesn't stop, does it?
Their mission? To keep the recovery on the rails
I'm staying in Central, so I'm so happy.
A job well done.
and make sure everyone reaches their destination safely. Every weekend of the summer has been a test for Central staff as passengers travelling for holidays and leisure descend on the station in large numbers once more. But this weekend, the team are facing their biggest challenge yet. The TRNSMT Music Festival will bring up to 150,000 eager revellers into the city centre of Glasgow. It's expected to be the busiest weekend of the year. As TRNSMT hits, there's a new member of staff joining the team on the concourse. Receptionist Jack usually works upstairs in Central's offices, but now he's stepping into a new role as shift station supervisor. It's a big step up for Jack with a totally new and daunting set of problems.
It's definitely different going from that world into this world. Emails, phone calls, and the admin side of the website. That's all the things that I would do on a daily basis. It's more fluid downstairs. A lot of situations happen where you need to adapt on the fly, whereas up here there's a lot more structure, processes, procedures that need to be followed. Dealing with things like security checks, mobility assistance, customer service, queuing systems. So I'm looking forward to it.
I think it'll be a bit of an eye-opener for him. It's one of those you never really quite know what everybody does until you do their actual job. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he takes to it.
TRNSMT kicks off at midday, so this morning it's the calm before the storm. This will be the first big test of whether Jack's got what it takes to be shift station supervisor.
We're really, really short staffed this morning as well, so rough day for Jack.
We're here. Right, guys, take a radio. So what we'll be doing is basically security, platforms, concourse and all the rest of it. But it's mainly on the flare and watching crowds, because it is going to get really busy. It's chalk out there the now, so just jump out here the now and then see the likes of this. If they were all to start loitering in here, that's where it's going to be an issue. So just things like that, so just be mindful of bags being left unattended, bikes and all the rest of it. So there'll be a lot of alcohol as well, so just watch that. So if you get any questions for me, no, feel free to just give us a shout back, right?
Any chance we can get a service over here ASAP because he's really busy over at the toilet?
Aye, that's a Roger, mate. I'm just briefing the guys here. We'll wrap them up and we'll be heading down shortly, mate, OK? Let's get to it. So for the most part, they'll be coming in, maybe they'll linger for a wee bit, they'll go to the toilets and then they'll go out.
So one, and then later on, donkeys start
Yeah, well, this is it, mate, innit? This is it. Having to get these numbers walking up the stairs, do you know what I mean? So it's a definite change of pace because you're constantly moving and adapting to an ever-changing picture. So, well, all squared up in what you do? Excellent, mate. Listen, mate, you've got a radio. The guys are here as well.
Get these bad boys.
Just give us a shout. Aye. Do you want a wee horn up with that case? That's what we're here for.
Thank you very much.
No bother. Sorted.
With the station staff now fully briefed, crowds are already starting to build on the concourse. And with several pack trains also due to arrive from the south, the next few hours could create the perfect storm if the team isn't careful.
Main things for us to watch out for is overcrowding in the station, dealing with high numbers of people all at the one time. It's about dealing with the numbers and making sure there's not a lot of congestion, which is a big thing that we try and avoid. Obviously, with infrastructure, you can only do so much. So that's what I'm saying. So sometimes platforms can get really overcrowded there. You've only got so many barriers, and then you've only got so many passengers that have actually bought tickets.
With numbers of around 50,000 expected through the station, any crowd bottlenecks could cause major issues for Jack and the team.
I'll be waiting for this Manchester airport to go. Oh, and it's coming in late.
It'll be a wee bit of an issue then. So.
Right.
Congestion.
I know.
A busy train from Manchester Airport has arrived late, and it's having a knock-on effect on the building crowds.
Hayley, how is everything there, all right? That's a Roger. Something looks to be boarding now because there's a wee bit of movement.
It's only just came in though, so I don't know what's going on.
But Alison has spotted something about the Manchester train, something that is already having consequences.
The Manchester has boarded, but people haven't come off the train yet. It's only come into the station. It's caused severe congestion here.
An announcement has accidentally sent the waiting crowds towards the barriers early, putting them on a collision course with passengers getting off and causing a deadlock on the platform.
Stop that queue moving, Alex. Don't let them board the transparent. Stop it moving.
That's a Roger. We need the barrier stopped.
Don't still coming through the barrier.
We need to stop the barriers. Stop the barriers.
No.
Stop.
No.
Stop. The train's not open.
I'm going through.
Okay.
Guys, if you're not coming up, you can feed through that side as well.
Through that side. Just got to hold them. Yeah, get them in. Brilliant. Let's go, guys. Thank you.
As staff at the barriers hold back the waiting queues, the team must work quickly to divide and filter the leaving passengers.
So you can go that way. Come out, come through.
Exit. 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 You can exit this way. Go this way, guys. Exit this way. That's us.
Just feed it through there. Quicker that way.
That's it.
Just keep coming, guys.
Stevenson, come on. We're winning. Concourse, you just stop insulting me.
With the platform cleared, the Manchester train can now safely board.
Racing, board that transparent number 3, please, now.
It's all going to Manchester. Da-da-da-da. There we go. Right. When you see something like that shouldn't happen, like what I saw was a huge surge of people, but I knew there shouldn't have been a surge of people. So it's knowing then that you need to do something with that and you need to intervene and find out what's going on and take charge of it, really.
We worked well as a team there. We had the ScotRail barrier staff that opened the barriers and let everybody off, as opposed to using tickets to swipe through. I had said to open the barriers at the other side and was feeding some of the passengers through there as well. And we had another colleague stopping passengers coming onto the train. So it's all about communication and then working together. It feels good to be a part of it. It's just good to get in amongst it and feel like you played a part in making something happen.
Jack has coped with his first crisis as shift station supervisor well. With the Manchester train departing, the station staff can concentrate on making sure the transmit crowds get safely on their way. Underneath the bustle of the concourse, things are quiet in the basements of Central Station. But maybe not for long, if station tour guide Jackie has anything to do with it. Developing Central's new museum has been Jackie's #1 focus for a couple of years. But with that now open and being enjoyed by visitors, she's now setting her sights on something much bigger.
The museum's now ready for everybody to come and enjoy, so this is my next project. And what a project. Quite a challenge.
Beneath the station concourse, an old Victorian-era platform has lain dormant for decades.
This station was running trains right up until 1964, and then this part was sealed off so that it was never to be used again. That's about to change.
Jackie is determined to renovate the Victorian platform into a living, breathing history space for Central's tour visitors to enjoy, complete with a train, smoke machines and all the atmosphere of a long-lost era.
We're going to have a steam engine coming in here, people milling around in Victorian dress. There's already a great atmosphere down here, but my goodness, the potential is phenomenal to create something really, really special down here.
However, there's currently a major issue standing in the way of Jackie realising her vision, something that could scupper the entire project before it's even started.
There's some water lying along here. We're not sure whether it's standing water, whether it's running water. We're not even sure where it's coming from.
Jackie urgently needs to figure out how the water is getting into the platform.
The rest of the project can't progress without this having been fixed. If this doesn't get fixed, the rest of the project doesn't happen.
Luckily, in Central Station, there's always help at hand.
It's rather pungent.
Sean is the latest recruit of Central's maintenance team.
That's all came out of that pipe. And I blew it. What do you smell it?
I think he's in his element with a leaking pipe and trying to track the source of it all. It's almost like a jigsaw puzzle, putting it all together to find out where the water's coming from. So the maintenance team need to really get in about it.
The maintenance team is used to dealing with leaks, but finding the mysterious source of this water is proving much harder than usual, due to the strange behaviour of the water itself.
It's got a good run, see it? Aye, that's what.
Aye.
That's quite clear, isn't it? Aye, it's standing water, there's not going anywhere, is there? That's right, what there? We want to go see if we can fill in our chamber down there.
Wait a sec. Now that's flowing quite fast.
That'll be taking that last long, will it no?
Aye, but why is that so high then?
Don't know. You want to put this down?
I'll just drop it, go. Right, so why is that doing that then?
As the water source continues to elude them, frustrations build within the team.
Am I better bringing a couple of rods down and checking this first? To see where that's going?
Where's the water coming from?
I don't know. If I knew that, I would tell you, but I don't.
But now, maintenance team leader Stevie might have hit on a theory.
Right, I was in here the other day, yesterday, and that arch was completely...
That arch? This one?
Yes, the next one.
That one.
Stevie's idea might solve the mystery of where the water's coming from.
That would explain why that was full of water the other day.
You think it sounds quite plausible, don't you?
So now the team are off to find Jackie and explore further. One story from the times of the Victorian platform has been largely forgotten. Writer Judith Vallely is on her way to Central today and is keen to revive the dramatic story of the suffragette movement of the early 20th century and of its surprising links to the station.
I think when most people think about suffragettes, they think of, the Pankhursts were obviously very prominent names at that time. And they also think about incidents like Emily Davison, who obviously died when she was run over by the King's Horse at Epsom Derby. But there was so much activity taking place around the country, and that included in Scotland and in Glasgow. There's been several, obviously, major events that have centred around Glasgow Central, and people probably, walking through the station, we wouldn't think of hundreds of suffragettes gathered there and on the activities that went on, but they definitely played a huge part in the suffrage movement.
In March 1914, the stage was set for Glasgow to play host to one of the most thrilling events of the suffrage movement.
Leaders played a really pivotal role in, attracting more support, and obviously, the speeches that they made garnered huge publicity. The railways played an important part in the suffragette movement, both in terms of being able to allows speakers to travel to different parts of the country. It was a very important part of the movement that speakers like Emmeline Pankhurst were able to go to different audiences and spread their message across the UK. So Emmeline Pankhurst travelled to Glasgow in March 1918 to give a speech at St Andrew's Hall. She was such a celebrity that her visits would attract thousands of supporters, and especially in Scotland where she didn't visit that often, so it would be a really high-profile visit of the time.
St Andrew's Hall was once an iconic venue for the people of Glasgow, sitting behind the Mitchell Library, before it was destroyed by fire in 1962.
Now you can imagine the atmosphere in the hall. It was packed out with supporters. There was thousands there, possibly as many as 4,500, 5,000 people who had come to see her. And it was no easy task for her to come here because at that time she was subject to arrest under the cat and mouse legislation. So basically she was subject to being rearrested at any time. You can imagine the kind of great cheer and clapping when she got up and made her way to the platform. She said it was one of the shortest speeches she'd ever actually made because it was interrupted by the police who rushed forward in an attempt to arrest her. So you can imagine the chaotic scenes. The newspapers the next day certainly had reported it as a wild riot. So they took Mrs Pankhurst to the central police station where they held her overnight, and then of course they wanted to get her back to London.
As news of Mrs Pankhurst's arrest spread throughout the city, an army of suffragettes began to descend on Glasgow Central Station. Their mission? To stop Mrs Pankhurst boarding the London Express.
So in the morning of March 1914, you can imagine the scene when their leader had been arrested, and hundreds of suffragettes would have come to Central Station in a bid to stop her being taken back down to London and back to prison. So you can just imagine them streaming in and coming to and seeing if they could go to one of the platforms where the train to London was due to depart. Who knows what they might have been armed with, but certainly the previous night they were determined at all costs to stop their leader being rearrested by the police. So they had been armed with Indian clubs. They had flower pots that they just picked up and threw. Tables and chairs were flying everywhere, so they were really determined to stop their leader being arrested.
When faced with the furious crowds of suffragettes at Central Station, the police were forced to abandon their plans and think on their feet.
The police were aware that suffragettes were going to be at the station in large numbers, and so they came up with a plan. So instead of taking her from Central Station, they took her to Coatbridge rail station outside of Glasgow, and there the London to Euston Express, which did depart from Glasgow, had a special unscheduled stop. And at that point, Mrs Pankhurst was taken from the car, and it was said that she refused to walk and she was carried onto the train. But this ruse by the police meant that they outwitted the suffragettes, basically, and making sure that they didn't have this confrontation at Central Station.
But despite being outmanoeuvred, the suffragettes weren't willing to give up that easily.
Now, there were also suffragettes on board the train who'd actually joined the train. It was the Glasgow to London Express, and they'd got on in Glasgow. They knew Mrs Pankhurst was on the train, and they were going to try in some way to prevent her from being taken back to jail. But the police had another plan in mind, so instead of going directly to London Euston, the train made an unscheduled stop, but the carriages that the suffragettes were in, the front two carriages, were stuck in a tunnel, and it was reported that some even tried to escape out the windows to go and help her at that point, but it was to no avail because the train set off again. So basically all the suffragettes could do was watch as Mrs Pankhurst was carried from the train. I think from the suffragettes we can learn that there is they need to be resilient and keep going. Often they were really up against it. They were having to take on huge police presences and try and thwart the authorities, and many times they didn't succeed. So there is that lesson about keeping going, and even if you can't see the end in sight, then it's all about making sure that progressing towards that kind of final goal.
2 miles from Central, at Shields Depot, one pioneering woman wants to inspire others coming into the rail industry.
All right, how you doing? Right, so you're just letting something in the new. Where's that going?
Just into Central.
With trains arriving regularly, each one must be quickly and carefully manoeuvred to the right shed in order to keep the depot on schedule. And right now, Susan is facing a key pressure point in the day.
So our main responsibility is to make sure that the trains come in safely from the main line to the maintenance shed. So we tend to do a lot more movements and coupling and uncoupling, which the drivers on the main line very rarely have to do, but we do it on a day-to-day basis here. I believe I'm one of 3 female shunters in Scotland, and I think I'm one of 3 females out in the depot. So yeah, very outnumbered, but it doesn't intimidate me in the slightest. I've got a couple of lifts coming in today, 5 in total, maybe 6 if the sleeper comes in. So all we do is we just need to make sure that the yard is all set up, ready for them to come in. We tend to have a lot more moves in the morning sometimes because the trains never come the way they're supposed to. So this is our unit coming in.
With a packed timetable of incoming trains to manage, delays can have significant ramifications for the network. And there's already a major issue with one of the units that's just arrived. It has come in the wrong way round.
Sometimes you can have the perfect plan and then just like that the train comes in the wrong way and it can mess everything up. We don't have a big turntable in here. Whatever's required in for maintenance, we have to get it in there somehow, so we have to shuffle the trains around.
With the clock ticking, Susan now must think fast.
Rob, you there? So I've brought this into 4 road, but 6 it needs to go into the shed. So we'll need to split these off and go up into the head shunt with them. And I'll bring 12 back into 5 and you bring 6 into 4.
Getting the trains cleared the right way will require a complicated manoeuvre, and the next scheduled trains are already incoming.
No problem. If you just hold them in the number 1 when I'm finished with my move, I'll ring you back when I'm ready for them into the yard. The one that's up in the head shunt, he's not actually due in until 20 past, so it gives us 15 minutes to do it. And we're on radio communication, we're on phone communication with the signaller, and then we have to drive as well. So you've got to switch between shunter and driver. You have to keep your wits about you and make sure that you're concentrating on the one job you're doing.
Driver, you have reset the DRA. Please check the signal.
We're now at 9:16. We've still got 5 minutes before that other unit must come out of the head shunt. So it'll be close, but we'll do it. Sometimes there's a lot of pressure from the signaller to try and get that unit out of the head shunt.
Trains come in and out of the depot through a single bottleneck track known as the head shunt, so it's vital to keep things moving.
But you have to do this job safely, because if you do this wrong, you could derail a train. So this is where you have to just not let the time constraint get in the way. We have to make sure that we do this move safely rather than quickly to get that other unit in.
With only a couple of minutes to spare, Susan brings the unit into the correct position, readying the yard for the next train movement.
That's me down and clear of the points if you want to bring your unit down. Constantly thinking on your feet, changing plans. It's something you do instinctively and you don't even know you're doing it. If anybody asks me about my job, straight away I always say to them, love my job. Railway is definitely something that I would encourage people to go into. I like to think I'm an advocate or a role model for women in engineering. I've got a daughter myself. She's 13, so she's starting to pick what career she's wanting to go into. And I've asked her, I says, is there any job that you feel you can't go for because it's generally associated with being a male job? And thankfully she said no, which means I'm doing something right. I mean, I want women to get interested in this type of thing because it's a very, very interesting career. It's using your brain and having that to think on your feet on a daily basis. Engineering's the way forward.
While more women are coming into rail engineering, at Central, Alison is also looking for new ways to help make the railways more accessible for everyone. Central's facilities are forever evolving. Sometimes thanks to the efforts of campaigners pushing change forward. One example of this has been the arrival of the Changing Places toilet facilities, championed by campaigner Jill.
It's hugely important for Central Station to be accessible for everybody, whether it's in the toilets, access into the coffee shops, into the retail shops. It should be, regardless of who you are, it should be an easy journey, and that's what we're here for, to make that happen.
A regular passenger on the railways, Jill Clark is a leading disability campaigner.
I have been campaigning for changing places toilets for 7 years now. The Central Station was the first station in Scotland to get a changing places toilet. A million people in the UK with a disability need extra equipment and space to allow them to use the toilets safely and comfortably. These needs are met by changing places toilets. Going to the toilet is a human right, so everyone should have access to a toilet no matter what.
Hi there. How are you getting on?
Having been instrumental in previous accessibility upgrades, Alison is meeting Jill on the concourse today to get her direct feedback on how mobility access can keep on improving.
I think I saw you last week when coming back from Largs.
Did you have a good time at Largs?
It was great.
Oh, good, good. It's nice to get away to the seaside. This dot, is this how you control this? That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Well, we got a wee tour around the station and you can show me anything that you think doesn't work or things that maybe could help. I want to put an intercom point outside, a help point, but I don't know how high to make it so that everybody can reach it. So this is my thinking here, Jill. One problem I think we've got is when people get here, they can't get hold of us. So what I want to do is put an intercom point here, say like a wee machine, so that you can press it and then the staff can come to the front door to help you. Would that be something you think would be good?
Yes.
I'm going to move this out of the way. And then if I put something probably about here-ish, most people I think will be able to reach it, because that's my problem as well. We've got a lot of things in here that you need to be taller to reach, so when you're in a chair, it makes it difficult.
Yes, very true.
Absolutely, Jill. You've got the same right to travel as absolutely everybody else. Then you've been quite instrumental, I think, in pushing things forward, so that's good.
I have a Facebook page for my campaign called The Toilet Woman. Look it up if you wish.
I will look it up.
Is the TOUR accessibility?
Not yet, but we're working on it. The problem with the tools is they go down the stairs. So, but in the future, we're looking at it. I'll speak to Paul and Jackie and see what the official plans are for it. We can get you down to the tools and you can maybe give us some advice on how we can make them a wee bit more accessible. We'll sort out a date. So I'll get dates from Paul and Jackie, the tour guides, see when they can do it and we'll see when we can come in. See, so Jill, this shop's a problem because it's got a stair. We could put doorbells on the side possibly. So at least that way you could ring and say, hello, I'm here. Give me a wee hand. So a simple solution really, but it would work a wee bit better. Little bits and bobs that just need sorted out and tidying up, and it'll just make people's lives a wee bit easier. Thanks very much for coming in today and just even giving us a wee bit more of your perspective. Anything you ever see or think, or you get any suggestions, just get in touch with us and let us know.
I will.
Because it's amazing, just one idea can just totally change something for somebody else, you know.
I would like just to thank Central Station for having a fantastic changing places toilet facilities.
You're very welcome.
While Central finds ways to look to the future, station manager Drew is reflecting on the past. He's approaching the 40th anniversary of his start on the railways.
40 years in the railway, and about over 30 years in Glasgow Central. And as I look out to this splendid structure and you think to yourself, what a beautiful building to work on it. But it's not only just the structure, it's actually the people, your colleagues that I've worked with throughout the years. I try and get on with everybody. I've had maybe my fallouts in the past, but created a lot of friends within the railway. But you need to ask them what they think of me, so I can't answer that.
As the date of the big anniversary fast approaches, Drew's staff are coming up with their own secret plans.
We're hoping to celebrate Drew's 40 years in the railway. We're planning on having a surprise for him. He has no idea about it. That's his certificate, right, and that's his thingy, the replica, and that's the remaining money is in there. The
You want me to keep the remaining money?
No, because I'm going to give them
You
it.
can be resting my account if you want.
Oh, no, you're all right. Thanks for the offer, but you're okay.
I'm honestly proud of the staff at Glasgow Central, all staff, because they're the ones that's on the ground floor, they're the ones that's doing the work. They're the ones that's dealing with the operation of Glasgow Central. You know, I'm just there to make sure everything's running smoothly as possible.
As Drew looks back over his long career, many others are just beginning theirs. The British Transport Police welcomes almost 300 new recruits into the ranks every single year, with many rookie officers finding themselves based at Glasgow Central Station as their first post. One new recruit now based here is PC Tamsin Webster.
December 2019 I went up to college and then came out at the beginning of March. The whole time I've been in the job it's been COVID, so it's obviously I've not experienced it anywhere near to what it used to be like.
PC William Wiley is one officer responsible for her training.
Tamsin is now currently based within Glasgow Central Station, so this is where she books on and books off. But Tamsin can and is still deployed with myself out on mobile response. So this will allow Tamsin to go out, conduct inquiries, have a change of scenery, but still have one foot in Central permanently, but the other foot still in response, where she has the best of both worlds.
Tamsin and Willie are based at Central, but their remit doesn't only cover the station.
We'll generally do quite a big kind of tour of the city, if you like, in the hope that should a call come in, we're pretty close by. Do you have hand sanitizer?
Of course I do.
Can I have some, please?
For you being the advocate for hand sanitizer, I think you'd have your own box.
What is this stuff? It's new and exciting.
Really, it's just a...
No!
Responding to a variety of calls across the rail network, Tamsin now has only a few weeks left of her probation to prepare her for a post-lockdown world.
It's not far away. Then all the stress is done.
No, there's more stress.
No, I mean the probation stress.
Yeah, but there's just more stress because you actually...
All grown up. You'll be fine. Also gives you plenty of time to get a card made. Best tutor ever. Wally, you are Yoda. Stuff like that. No? See?
Willie, you are Yoda.
Yeah. Half the times in the early shifts are talking riddles anyway.
Brings in the fact that you're small.
Today they're out on patrol, and it's not long before the pair get a call out about a trespass on the line.
Like, you got a report of two very young children that placing items onto the track. Very young children, around about 7 years of age.
Jeez Louise. What's your ETA?
20.
I want him to be there just now, if you could attend the call from the park.
That's received. Making for Milliken Park, and that's an ETA of 20 on a priority.
The call that we had received was a report of 6 or 7 year olds placing their toys on the running lines. It's a call that you probably never want to hear, because I think you know the dangers that go with it. It's a scary prospect, so for us we try and get there as quickly as we can.
It's in our interest to get there sooner rather than later, because we don't want to be responding to something that's maybe went a wee bit wrong.
There have also been previous sightings of children at this location, so the response vehicle must urgently investigate. One way of preventing future call-outs like this is by teaching kids all about the railways. Which is why Central's Heather has come to Garrow Hill Early Learning Centre today. The station's mobility buggies ferry hundreds of passengers around Central daily, and there are now plans to give the busy buggies a bit of a makeover.
So we've just arrived here, just about to go and meet the kids. Really looking forward to it. I hope it'll be good fun and we'll all learn something.
Hey boys and girls, are we going to say good morning to Heather?
Hello. Hi, good morning. My name's Heather and I work at Central Station. I'm a customer service assistant.
I haven't been to Central Station.
You've not been to Central Station? You have? So what we do is we make sure that everyone's safe in the station and on the railway. Have you guys been learning lots about being safe in the station? Yes. Have you? What have you learned?
The buggies.
The buggies, okay. So that's when we help people get round the station. That's also something we do. Do you know anyone or any persons that would need help around the station?
Broken people.
Old people. Okay, yeah.
People that have a sore leg.
A sore leg, yeah, that's right.
People that have a wheelchair.
People that are in a wheelchair as well, that's absolutely correct. We'll drive people round the station and we get them to where they need to be. So there's 4 buggies in total, okay? Because it can get very busy. So do you guys want to try and draw a buggy for me?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done a buggy.
Wow. Oh, the wheels. Look.
High five.
How good is that? Why don't we all name a buggy?
Carter the buggy.
You want to call it Carter? Okay. What about you?
Is called Scout because it's Hugo.
You want to call it Hugo? Okay. Anyone else get any other names?
Mariah the buggy.
Mariah, lovely. And you like Mariah as well?
Indigo.
Indigo. Oh, that's different. We all happy with these names, kids? Yeah? So, we've got T, the buggy, Indigo buggy, Mariah, and Ollie the octopus.
We like them, boys and girls?
Yeah?
What do we say to Heather for coming to see us?
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me. We got a whole pile of good fun names, so now we're going to go back to the station and get the buggies named. Looking forward to seeing their faces when we unveil it to them.
Back in the basements of Central Station, Jackie's Victorian platform project still hangs in the balance. But it looks like she might finally have some answers.
John's our, I'm going to call him a groundworks person. He's part of the maintenance team, but he's working with Stevie to try and find the source of the water. And the good news is it looks as though they've found the source of the water.
Sean has dragged a kilted Jackie away from her tours to share his important findings.
Cheers, thanks.
Are you a true Scotsman, Jack? You made it the question.
No.
Just watch your feet, by the way.
Sean's taking me in to see where this water source is.
Aye, you.
But he's putting my life in danger.
Well,
just kidding, by the way.
You might not need to take it much more, because there's a big step here, Jack. I think you'll get done. Would you like a hot?
Yes, you certainly can. Oh my goodness.
Hey, just watch your feet, because it's wet down here.
What the team has found is a sealed-off room which is filled with junk and water.
Oh, that gold.
Is it absolutely full?
Oh, aye, it's full. It's nearly up to the top of the arch. Hold on, wait. Could take a picture of it, couldn't I? Aye, there you go. Look. So, so that's the back wall we were at. So showing me the water was coming out. The block.
How did all that stuff get... Did they just shove it in and then brick it up?
That's what they've done.
He tells me that there's been a wall built there which has effectively sealed stuff, loads of stuff inside one of the arches, but it's also allowed water to gather there, and this water seems to be seeping from there. That's why it's not a full flow. When we're clearing this, do we get that wall knocked down and then get all that out? If we're doing this, we need to do it right.
It's not too bad. You could just put some light and put a projector in there, a couple of wee seats in it, you know. I don't know, I want to puggle your head.
But that still doesn't completely explain where the water is coming from. They'll need to head further into the station to investigate.
I'm just taking a wee step in here because I've got new shoes on.
Hold on. He's your horn.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Stand down here, Jack. Don't stand in that, Jesus.
Right.
Don't come any further. So in here was full with water. Aye, you've had a leak in here somewhere, so we need to know where this is coming. See how it's all wet in this wall?
Yes, I can see
all
that.
coming
I
down.
see the walls wet, actually.
Aye. So we need to know, because that, the white stuff you see on the wall, that's salt. There's a good chance this might be connected into the Clyde for your tidal.
So you're saying that it could be linked to the tide of the Clyde?
The famous River Clyde, on whose banks the station sits, changes as it flows through the country. Beyond the weir at Glasgow Green, the Clyde becomes a tidal estuary, rising and falling with the tides of the sea, which would explain the strange behaviour of the water in Central's basements.
It's quite phenomenal. And I suppose it's the whole tunnel work and pipe works that the Victorians created when they created the station, and it was all focused on the Clyde.
The next thing that we'll double check is when the tide comes in and the tide comes out. So when your tide's coming in, your water will come up, when your tide goes out, the water disappears.
Time will tell with that one.
What's that?
My goodness, it's like a jigsaw puzzle trying to put all the pieces together, isn't it?
Aye.
And if we can get rid of this water, which we need to get rid of to be able to develop the Victorian platform, then it's worth all the work, especially when I'm not having to do it. It's becoming more of a reality, I suppose, just beginning to take shape, things starting to happen, we're starting to get back to normality, and hopefully we can take this whole project forward. Sounds really easy for me, but I think that should be easy enough for him to fix. Over to you, Sean.
Out on patrol, the BTP response vehicle has just arrived at Milliken Park Station, and PC's Willie and Tamsin must now find the children who were spotted on the line.
You've not seen any wee kids hanging about here putting toys on the line or anything, have you? No. All right, thanks very much. Cheers. It's pretty easy to walk onto the line for you. I think if you're a 6, 7-year-old kid, it's not going to cause you too many problems. A worst-case incident for us is somebody being struck by a train. If that's a kid, a lot of the guys in the teams now have got families and things, so it's one that you hope and pray you don't need to attend.
I just saw a wee boy with dark hair and a pink top on. So.
Oh, did you now? Aye, it's fine, aye. Whereabouts?
Just further down there, and then they cut up one of the side streets there. So there was a group of them though, so it wasn't just two. So you can see the dangers.
If you imagine you're 5 or 6 years old, probably not weighing a lot. If you're too close to the edge, you know, potentially it's got the backdraft there just to pull you towards your training. It's a fair old big bit of machinery, really.
Scary.
Right, let's go and find kids.
See, just where that yellow and red is?
Yeah.
So down there?
I think we'll drive, aye.
No worries.
I think we'll drive. It's a good idea. My old legs need to rest.
I didn't want to say anything, but... I can't remember if they went down the street or they went along and down the next one, so try going down this one and then we'll do...
You're just making things up there.
Yeah, I'm just making it up.
Would you actually much rather be playing football here than playing the railway line, wouldn't you?
Could we play Kirby?
No.
As well as reported sightings at the station platform, there have also been previous sightings of children further up the line. So the officers must locate the access point to stop it happening again.
Is it holes in the fencing? Is it maybe a bit that they're managing to jump over? Is there something we as an organisation can feed back in to either fix that problem or work with our partners at Network Rail or ScotRail to see if we can combat it in some way whereby we prevent these kids from being in a position of danger?
Might be an access point here somewhere.
Right, so there's a hole in the fence here somewhere.
That's what he's saying.
No, we're just going for a walk down here to find a hole in the fence. Right.
All right.
I know.
Good luck with that one.
No, you expect to hear, is it?
But while PC Wiley deals with members of the public, Tamsin has already vanished into the undergrowth.
Tamsin's got this big key inside. We said, I'll go.
What's the log number from the trespass earlier?
One of the boys was in a blue t-shirt, I think.
We've had two different logs come in for it, one from CCTV, one from a random person. That random person said the boy was wearing a blue and white top. There was a call in earlier for a trespass with the same two descriptions, which was 2 5, 6-year-olds. And it was an access point further up the line there.
With the access point located, Tamsin can share information with Network Rail to get the hole fixed.
Tamsin is still at that stage where she's going to bust through bushes, and now that I'm getting a wee bit older, it gives me a chance to go, on you go. I'll let you go and do that.
With no signs of the children, Willie and Tamsin are ready to head back out on patrol. But the investigation is not over.
It's something you'd like to get the kids, maybe not so much give them out of trouble, which maybe educate them a wee bit, take them home and make their parents maybe a wee bit more aware of, you know, warn them about the dangers of the railway, and it's an unforgiving place, unfortunately.
For log 455, can you note that that's an extensive area search and it's a no trace?
Tamsin has come up with a plan on how to eventually locate the children in question.
If I could ask CCTV, is it the same persons from earlier on? So we can get images, so we can go round door to door. with it to give them, just to inform them.
When you come out and you're in a lifetime scenario, you don't really know what's coming to you, so finding that little bit of confidence to go, well, actually, I'm going to take the lead.
So I can get RMS pushed for no non-crime occurrence and then do it through that. Because it's not a crime, it's just that they're going too close to the line.
It's something that I think as a shooter you go, yeah, I'm happy, you know.
There you go. Why is this so difficult?
You're so patronising.
I think people like Tamsin coming in, you can see takes great pride in being a police officer within BTP, her own personal appearance and certainly standards she sets for herself. If she can manage to pass that on as well as I've taught her, then I think we'll be absolutely flying going forward.
Back on the road, it isn't long before another call comes in.
Funny you should say that. I'm about 5 minutes away from those locations. I've kind of headed out this way.
Already on it, Sarge.
Back at Central this morning, the children of Garrow Hill Early Learning Centre have good reason to be excited. As part of a mobility centre revamp, Stevie is finishing the makeover of the station buggies.
I'm fitting number plates. The kids have picked the names.
So I went to the local nursery to speak to the children. It went really well. Obviously, they're all children between the ages of 4 and 5. Managed to get some great pictures of the buggies. I put them up in the mobility hut, which is a great wee talking point for the customers. And they named the buggies as well. So yeah, a few different names for them.
The name choices are fantastic. There's a wee boy, Johnny Indigo.
With the newly christened buggies ready to hit the concourse, the children have made a trip to the station to check out their handiwork.
Oh, what's that? What is that? Oh, buggy? Oh, look, who's that down there? Who's that down there? What, to go see her? Okay, let's go see Hannah.
Hi, how are yous? Yous look great. Nice and bright in the station. Did you enjoy the train rides? Yeah? Was it good? Excellent. Did you see the buggy?
What did you guys see sneaking up there?
Did you see one driving away?
What did you see?
There's one there.
What's that?
Yeah. Do you want to come round to see the front of the buggy? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Come on, see the front. What we've done, come round and see the front. Do you see this here?
Oh.
Yeah. Will I tell you what that says on that? Ollie the octopus.
Oh, yay! Does it look the same as what it looked like in the picture that we saw?
Yeah. Just want to sit on it? Yeah. We can all. Right, let's see.
Let tell you what to do.
Right, you manage on. That's it. Right, let me pull this one up. Right, there we are. You want to squeeze in the front? That's the handbrake. So when I push that up and I turn the key, the buggy will go. But don't worry, the keys aren't in, so you won't go anywhere. And it's got a horn. Oh, the horn's there, look. Oh. Yeah, you want to try it? Right, okay, I'll let you try it.
Yeah. Now we've saw Ollie the octopus and we've saw the buggies, it's time to go back home. Oh. Let's say bye to Heather. Bye. And we're going to go down here and say goodbye, all right?
So cute. I love it, I love it. They know how to work that horn in that buggy anyway, so that's the main thing you need in here is to get people out the way, so.
As well as a big day for the children, it's also a landmark occasion for someone else at the station. The anniversary of Drew's 40 years of service to the railway has finally arrived, and his assistant Catherine has been hard at work making the final arrangements for his big surprise, while his colleagues and family gather on the concourse.
At this moment in time, he's through in Cali Chambers while we try and sort things out just now. We're at nearly 22, so I've got 10 minutes basically to get this done, to run across and set up.
However, Catherine soon gets word that Drew is on his way back downstairs early, remembering that he has a morning call.
Guys came back down. Catherine, you'll need to phone him. He's coming down for the 9:30 meeting.
So while staff try to slow him down...
How are you doing, Drew?
I'm good, John. How are you?
I'm all shook I can. Teamwork.
Hey, John.
Right, take care.
They now only have minutes to finish.
Can you tell me if that's straight, Simon?
Yep.
you all right to just nip upstairs and get that other plaque and I'll meet people down? No time for anything else, I'm afraid.
John Fisher was 47, I was 40, and then you're 43. A long time, mate, eh?
I started when I was about 12.
Quite good. I'll be Piper's here as well. A couple of minutes. Hi there. You ready to go as well? Ross is just going to give you the wee thumbs up. Don't even know who's all here.
I get the code for this.
Hello. I'm all right. How about you?
That's got it.
Can I just tell you, this has been murder. He wouldn't move it for his desk. The Piper's phone him and he's standing next to it and I'm like, aye, that's fine, yep, see you soon, aye, no worries.
What's the bagpipes for?
Is he over?
Oh.
Ross, no way.
Drew's manager Ross has come down for a special presentation.
So you cannot talk about Central without talking about Drew. You cannot talk about Central without the loyalty of this man. And it is an enormous pleasure, Drew, to present you with this plaque, which is dedication of the loyal service that you've given over the years. Well done, Drew. Well done.
For 40 years, as Ross says, I'm not in it for myself. I'm in it for the station, for the staff. So even though it's a privilege to receive this today, for me, this is for the staff at Glasgow Central. It's not just for me, it's for all my colleagues who have helped me through the time, especially as station manager. The question got asked, what does your staff think of you? And I goes, I don't know, you need to ask the staff. But seeing all my colleagues lined up like that for you to celebrate what is 40 years, honestly, you brought me to tears nearly enough. So I can only thank you, it's been an honour. Whether I go for the 50 is another thing, so we'll need to wait and see what happens with that, so thank you very much.
All the best.
Go on with your work now.
40 years, son. 40 years.
You are an old.
Absolutely amazing. That gave us to see Drew's face. He was gobsmacked. It's just so emotional for him.
It's just such a surprise for him as well, I think, because he's obviously takes a lot of pride in the station.
After the presentation on the concourse, the party moves upstairs to continue the celebrations.
Become Mr. Glasgow Central, Drew, hasn't he? You can't even imagine the station without him at all. Glasgow Central is a far better place with Drew about. So we can only hope that, although he's 40 years, he'll try and last 50.
The celebrations clear from the concourse just in time for some special arrivals. Every year, Glasgow Central welcomes a wave of new apprentices into the many different job roles within the railways. And with last year's batch now graduating confidently, today the team are meeting brand new apprentices as they take their first steps.
Are you the new apprentices? Oh, brilliant, because I hadn't met you.
I think it's very important to encourage anybody that's new to the railway, but probably even more so apprentices and younger people coming in and give them a wee bit of confidence.
I was like, yeah, I'm not going to uni, it doesn't suit me. And they just kind of gave you that look like, oh, you're not going to do well here.
Yeah, I think it's nice to share your story, you know, and tell them how I got to the job role that I'm in.
Listen, I left school with, I never done higher, so I left school in 4th year. I had standard grades. The same way I was always told, oh, you're intelligent, you should be doing more. I went and did a YTS at the time. I then fell pregnant and I had my son quite young. And then I went into different jobs and part-time. So it doesn't matter what age or where your life takes. That's it, it's your attitude.
Seeing how the apprentices are here just now have developed and evolved and matured just by being in this job role and working with other people and learning from them.
October last year I came out as gay, and I think one of the things that helped with that was the confidence at work. So like I said, I was quite a shy person. I wasn't too sure of myself. As much as I had my group of pals, I wasn't very good at like moving forward and talking to people. And over the course of the apprenticeship, running the train stations and then coming here and working on the train, thing that kind of gave me that confidence boost to kind of go, yeah, okay, I'm happy with myself, and then I was able to come out.
I think it gives me high hopes for the future of the railway and young people.
This is Drew, who's the station manager for Network Rail.
So is this our first week or?
Second week is this? Second week.
Do you know, can I tell you a quick story?
It'll not be quick.
I started off in 1981 as a youth opportunities programme way back then, and I've worked my way as a train register boy. I just celebrated 40 years in the railway. So who's going to last 40 years in the railway?
They've already told me they're after the jobs.
There you after it. That's what I like.
Just get our eyes in the chair, that's it.
Brilliant.
Have a vision.
That's it. Go for it. It's a great career.
Yeah. This man's testament to it.
You enjoy it too.
Thanks very much, because I'm that young.
My wife used to say, you just love Glasgow Central. And, you know, I mean, a day, it's, you know, coming into your work, it's a pleasure. Don't get me wrong, every day it's different.
I always looked on Central as a big family. The railway is a family. And I found that. That's my overriding memory of this place, and it will be when I leave here.
Well, throughout the whole rail industry, it is like a family. Sometimes a bit of a dysfunctional family, but no, it is like a family unit.
I think there's such a team in the railway anyway that kind of any job you're in, you really just want to improve things, keep going. And now we're also teaching London, like some of the processes we've put in place. So yeah, we'll start sharing our work through the network and hopefully improve things everywhere.
It's a journey we're sailing. So, and yeah, technology will take over, no doubt. We still need people though. The railway will always need people. In this business, we get used to change and we just go with the change, you know. You can't stand still, ever. You don't move, you're lost, you know. If you're not going on, you're going down.
I want people to come in and realise that Glasgow Central can be used. It's not only for people coming into our passengers to come in and get trains. I want people to come in and say, wow, Glasgow Central is such a wonderful place that we can get proposals. I love you. We could have events.
Is that a high fiver? Oh wow!
We could have concerts, we could have music, singing, you know, all dancing. I'm all for it. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a chance.